I want to talk to you for a second about where philanthropy goes, because government used to be in the business of providing health care and education, post-secondary education, all on its own pretty much in Canada. And now increasingly we're finding that the biggest areas for philanthropic gifts are universities and hospitals. So when that money, that philanthropic money, goes to government endeavors, it's not available for all the other things, for the libraries, for the sports groups, for the arts groups, for the ballet and the opera. Is it right for philanthropy to go in such big volumes to public enterprises like that?
Well, there is an ideological question about whether it is right. It is simpler to give $1 million to a university than to think about how you spread it around small charities. I mean, it is more difficult, as Rockefeller and these other gentlemen have said, to give that money away, and in smaller amounts, it's more problematic. But we definitely need to get more money to grassroots organizations. And when we talk about donations are drying up, we tend to say, well, these people are having fewer donations, without saying, but look at, $100 million in 1 year went to this university and $80 million went to this hospital. And if you added that money back into the charitable pool, which was the case, as you indicated, 10, 15 years ago, we would have significantly more money. So the part of the problem is, of course, you always need more money, but part of the issue is where the money is being redirected and redeployed. And a small charity can't compete with the plaque that a university can give, and a small charity can't help you jump the line up in the waiting list when you need knee surgery.
When you need your surgery. I mean, because whenever we talk about government cuts to gaming revenues and things like that, government and many people who would support them in this say, well, look, government shouldn't be paying for sports groups and environmental groups and those kinds of organizations. The reason that they are is because government agencies are hogging all that philanthropic money out there. There's hardly any left over for the little guys.
Well, it's in many ways worse than what you're describing, because governments have the opportunity to put up massive matching grant incentives, so that if you gave $1 to the university a couple years ago, you'd get $2 extra from the Knowledge Development Fund in Victoria and another $2 from the Canada Foundation for Innovation. So $1 got you 5, as opposed to giving to a little charity where $1 gets you 1, and they don't know, how long they're going to be in business. And they're not going to
name a building after you.
No, and if they did, the building would be one you wouldn't want named after you.
How do we fix that? Is there a way to fix it? I mean, has it gone too far? Have governments got so dependent on private donations to run what were formerly solely government enterprises that it's just impossible to go back?
I think there's a problem in going back, and I'm not convinced we need to go 100% back, but I think, these institutions need to recognize that increasingly governments look at how big the foundations, how big the endowment at a university and a hospital are, and reduce their funding because of the private money they know is there without having current donations. But I do think we need to spend more time worrying about and assisting the smaller grassroots organizations who have got lots of flaws and mistakes and whatever. But I mean, their flaws and mistakes are not huge overheads and necessarily how they spend the money. But as a society, we need people with the passion to get involved in addressing social problems that may make some mistakes in that process, but are driving to improve our society, not just to have a job in medical research or teaching. And again, I don't want to denigrate those jobs, but unless funding continues for small grassroots organizations, we will notice a greater change in our society in these areas.
It was great to have you, Blake. As always, Blake Bromley, he's a specialist in charity law. His company's Benefit Lawyers. We'll be right back on the Christy Clark Show.